Welcome to the Adding Foundation Assemblies tutorial for the Impact Estimator for Buildings. I'm going to continue with the same project we started in the last tutorial. It's loaded here in the tree. If I double click here, I can see my project level data. I'm going to leave it as is. The first thing I want to do is start adding assemblies to model my project. You can go up here to the Edit menu and choose Add Assembly, and you have the assembly group types there, or you can right click on the tutorial project in the tree and you have the same choices down here in Add Assemblies. And we're going to add a foundation. We have two choices, and I'm going to add a concrete footing. As with all project assemblies, you'll get a dialog form like this. We need to give it a name, call it foundation. You need to describe the geometry. In this case, it's a pretty simple length, let's say 100 feet by width, 3 feet and 12 inches thickness. I'm in imperial units because I chose imperial units in my project data. I could change it to metric if I want to, but I'm going to stay in imperial. We have material choices over here, 3 different sizes of rebar, 3 different strengths of concrete, and 3 different fly ash concentrations in our concrete. These are the defaults. You can choose them to whatever suits your needs. And we've described our foundation size and geometry. We can add an envelope material to this assembly. As with all other assemblies, we click on envelope up here and I click on insert. It defaults to foundations assembly group here, and in that group we have a choice of insulation or vapor barrier. I'm just going to choose, let's choose an insulation. I'm going to put some extruded polystyrene foam down there, and with insulations you need to add a thickness, so I'm going to add 1 inch of polystyrene extruded insulation. I click OK here. The insulation shows up here in our selected envelope components. The thickness for insulation is noted here. It's in millimeters, but that happens to be 1 inch right there. And that's it. I've added that envelope material to my foundation. It's going to be according to this assembly geometry, and I'm going to click OK. And you see up here in the tree, I'm going to expand the tree a little bit. The assembly gets added to my project tutorial. In the tree up here, we have the assembly group foundations and the assembly foundation that we've just created here. I'm just going to quickly show that we've added some materials to our project. I'm going to click up here on reports. Our project tutorial is selected in the top here, and I'm going to click on Bill of Materials. A form will appear, and there we go. Our Bill of Materials so far for this project include the concrete, the rebar from the foundation assembly, and the extruded polystyrene envelope material that we've added. The program is also going to assume that there are some nails needed to install that extruded polystyrene, so those are also added to our Bill of Materials. You can do this after each assembly if you want to. You don't need to, but it does show what gets added as you add assemblies to your projects. I'm just going to quickly close that. These numbers in brackets I'm going to quickly show here. These are called summary measures in tree, and you can choose to display as a running count as you're adding assemblies any of the 7 summary measures that you choose. Now if I go up here to Impact Estimator and right click, I can choose down here whether I want to show a percentage or absolute values of my summary measure. And then I check here the summary measure that I want to display, and I happen to be displaying global warming potential, but I could choose any of these others if I wanted to. And I can turn it on and off, and I say show summary measure here or not show summary measure here. At the moment, we're showing the absolute value of global warming potential, so this assembly has 4.54 tons of global warming potential, and so does that group, and so does that project, because this is the only assembly so far. If we want to change that to percentages, we'll change it here, and it changes to 100% again because it's the only project it's the only assembly in the project. We could also change to fossil fuel consumption if we want to, and we're at 100% of fossil fuel consumption. Or we could turn it off. I'm going to leave it on, and I'm going to leave it in values, and I want to leave it in global warming potential. If I reopen the dialog box for the assembly by double-clicking on it here, I can change any of these values I need to if the geometries change, and also there is a help file button at the bottom of the form, as with all other forms, and it shows the help file on concrete foundation assemblies. And that's all there is to it. We've just added a footing foundation assembly to our project, and this concludes the foundation assemblies tutorial.